All right, what is up, guys? We are not at the shoe market. We are actually in beautiful, look at this, beautiful San Luis Obispo, California, at the Running Warehouse HQ. And look at this, they got the mountains right behind the warehouse HQ, and this actually is the warehouse. I'll drop some footage of it later, but today we have the highly anticipated SC Trainer V3. So I had no idea when I was gonna get this one, but luckily I showed up here and Running Warehouse had it waiting for me. So they're doing this cool event where they invited me out here to run in some of the shoes, do some trails, and participate in a bunch of cool stuff out in California. So SC Trainer V3, highly anticipated shoe, one of the last plated trainers this year to come out. I don't know if New Balance is saving the best for last. We will have to see. Let us get into it. All right, guys, so I got a problem. If there's steps, I just start shoe tubing on them. So look at this. We got the FuelCell SuperComp Trainer V3. They wrote my name on it and everything. We do have a size 11. Apparently, Running Warehouse told me they didn't have any 10.5. So we got the 11. I think it's going to be okay. It's better than having a half size too small. But you guys already know the deal with this one. Let us open it up and see. Ooh, Running Warehouse hit me with some New Balance swag as well. That's cool. But the real thing we want to see is the bang, SC Trainer V3. So we have the nice black, yellow, and green colorway here. Nice neon accents with the black. I'm actually glad they didn't give us the white and blue one because that's what we have the Pacer. But man, this is a tall stack of foam. And pressing it in here, it feels on first touch a little bit more similar to the Rebel V4 foam, if not exactly the same as the Rebel V4 foam. I actually don't have the Rebel with me, and you can see I'm wearing my Brooks Ghost Max. I practice what I preach, guys. I've been telling you the Brooks Ghost Max is the best travel shoe, the best walking shoe, and now I'm wearing it. It's actually on sale right now for $120 at Running Warehouse. I'll put my link to this below, but I woke up at 5 a.m. in Charlotte, took the connector to Denver. I had to walk about 3 miles in Denver to get to my gate, and now we're in San Luis Obispo. The plane from Denver to San Luis Obispo is about the size of that 2015 Honda Odyssey, but we made it here safe and sound. Anyway, the whole point of me saying that is I don't have the Rebel here to compare. I'm sure Running Warehouse has a bunch of them in there. Maybe I'll go grab one. But this feels very similar to that EVA Piba blend that we have in the Rebel. It's probably identical. It's definitely not the same foam that we have in the Pacer and the Elite. So what I loved about that foam in the Rebel was that it's soft and forgiving, but I know some people out there felt the forefoot could be a little bit thin, that the foam could compress a little bit too much, that it didn't have enough support and couldn't stand up as well to time on feet, which I also felt. So I did take the Rebel out for a 20-something mile run, I think 23 miles actually, and it did okay, but at the end of the run, similar to the SC Pacer, I just felt like I could use a little bit more stack. So that's where this is going to slot in the New Balance lineup. This is the long run cruiser. This is the max cushion cruiser that you're going to want to use to chew through a ton of miles. So with that, hopefully we have some good rubber coverage. Let's see. Yes, we do. This almost looks like the rubber on the Propel. Very similar layout here. You got nice rubber out in the back, nice thick layer in the front. And one of my biggest surprises this year has actually been the performance of this New Balance rubber. It is very grippy, works great in the rain. The durability has been solid, but just the wet weather performance of this is almost Adidas Continental level. And then of course you got a gigantic stack of foam underfoot, and so to stabilize that, we do have the carbon fiber plate here. They call it the Energy Arc. That is the little gap, the Grand Canyon. It almost looked like we flew over the Grand Canyon today from Denver to San Luis Obispo. I don't think that's where the Grand Canyon is, but man, it was beautiful. Also, shout out to Kansas. Let me throw some Kansas footage right here. Put some respect on Kansas. Sorry, we're just shoe tubing.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm sorry for being in the way. All right, let's go find a little different location. Nice little location shift out here, but yeah, gigantic stack of foam stabilized by the carbon fiber plate here. I don't have my scale with me, but let's pop this off. Just do a little manual weigh-in test here. It does not feel the lightest. This also is a size 11, so a half a size bigger than my typical size, but yeah, it does not feel the lightest. But I do think, hopefully, like the Hoka Skyward X, and this would be the Skyward X competitor, that we're going to get the benefit of not just speed assistance from the race foam that's mixed in here, but the benefits of spending more time on feet, having the complete impact absorption, and having a little bit more of that bounce, especially for bigger runners. So my hope with the shoe, because one of the issues issues with both the Rebel V4 but also the SC Trainer V2, the previous version, was that the foam compressed down a lot. So just pushing it in here, and we'll get it on foot in a second, but it does not compress all the way down like it did in the SC Trainer V2. Got a little cameo. Best running PT in the game.
What you doing?
We're doing some shoe tubing with the SC Trainer V3. Yeah. I did. You want to give a little plug to your IG? Who are you? What do you do?
I am Dr. Lisa. I'm a physical therapist for runners and run coach, and you can find me at Dr.Lisa.DPT. I am loving the Ultra Flow experience flow. 4mm drop, super lightweight, wide toe box. So if you have PF, plantar fasciitis, bunions, or you just, want your toes to move a little bit more so you can use your big toe when you're running, highly recommend them. You're welcome.
All right, guys, go give Lisa a follow. Best running PT in the game. So last few things I wanted to mention here. The foam feels a little bit denser than the V2. We'll get it on foot in a second. I'm hoping it still retains the comfort. Now, they did come out with the Balance, which is a very comfortable shoe. The key difference between this and the Balance is that you get the plate. This foam also does not feel as soft as the Balance. So I'm guessing this might be a little bit more of a crowd pleaser because the Balance could be, I think, a little bit too soft for some people. But with that, guys, let us lace this thing up, get it on foot, do a little bit of a fit and feel check, and then I think we're going to get some miles in it later. What do you think? You think we'll get some miles in it? What do you guys think of this colorway, by the way? It's black with lime and orange. It's black but citrus. I don't know, it's kind of cool. So my main questions with this are, of course, this is an extremely competitive category. You have the Hyperion Max 2, which just dropped. You have the Deviate Nitro 3. You have the Socket Endorphin Speed 4, which I did not love, but oh, look, right here on the tongue, they tell you exactly what it's for. Can you guys see that? I'll make sure we get a good shot of it at some point if you can. It says fueled for the long run right on the tongue. So they're telling you right on the shoe what it's exactly designed for, which I like to see. So they're positioning this 100% as their marathon training long run shoe. And so far in my experience with the Balance, that's one of my questions. How does this compare to the Balance? That's more of a fun daily. These plated shoes, I'm not sure I'd love to run in them every day. But okay, first little step in here. It feels a little bit taller than the Ghost Max. Should we do a little walk test, just Ghost Max versus SC Trainer V3? Get a little check of comfort? Hold on. All right, a little walk test in the parking lot here. Brooks Ghost Max, SC Trainer V3. And of course, this is an 11. Fits perfectly fine. I'm gonna have a little bit extra room. That shouldn't be any issue. It's comfortable. Toe box, decently wide. I think it probably fits a little bit narrower than the Rebel. Probably more, yeah, it fits more similarly to the 1080 V13. 10.5 would be, I would go true to size, but it's not an issue to have this half size up. But it is not super soft. It is not super soft on step-in. And I think maybe with the Balance coming out and also just them having so many shoes now, it's crazy. The Propel V5 is great. 860 V14 is great. 1080 is great. This is a little bit, just on step-in, feels a little bit more structured than any of those shoes. At least the Fresh Foam shoes, this feels way more stable than the 1080 on step-in, way more stable than the Balance. And it's not as soft and squishy on step-in as the V2. So potentially the Balance is slotting in as that V2 replacement. I also did try the Hoka Mach X yesterday, the Mach X1, not the Mach X2, which is coming in September. This reminds me a little bit of that with how tall the forefoot feels. I don't know the exact specs, but it doesn't have a 10mm drop slant. It also feels a little bit less rockered. That's interesting. Yeah, it definitely feels a little bit less rockered than the V3. But of course, we'll have to do a real run and see. But let's lace up the other one and then do a quick jog test in the parking lot in beautiful San Luis Obispo. Who else comes out to Running Warehouse HQ and immediately hit you with the first run review, bro? It's just, I'm an absolute sicko. Bang, look at those mountains though. Let's just take a second to appreciate the beauty. This might be one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in the United States of America. And I know we have a construction site here, but just look on the other side of it. Look at those mountains. There's just 360-degree views right now of mountains. We just did a whole turnaround here, and there's still mountains. Crazy. Yeah, so I'm gonna lace up the other one, then we can do a quick jog test. But on step in here, it is comfortable, but definitely not super soft on step in, which is a little bit surprising for me. It almost feels more similar to the Super Blast on step in. The foam doesn't completely smush down like that last fuel cell, so hopefully that means we get some better performance for speed, especially for bigger runners, because one of the issues with the SC Trainer V2, again, that foam just compressed so much. And I know a lot of people, or it was mixed, it was very mixed actually. Some people thought it bottomed out a little bit, but we got both on feet here. Hold on. A little jog test. SC Trainer V3. And boom, do you see that? Sup, well, up your best. We got the new tees. All right, little jog test, let's do it. Gotta take out all my travel stuff first. It's just crazy. Put in the shoebox. All right, let's do it. All right, that was a really brief jog test. I can pop this thing off real quick, but man, first thoughts, very cushioned, absolutely no ground feel at all in this. I mean, look at it. Does it look like there's gonna be ground feel? No, so very cushioned, decently smooth still, but less of a rockered feel. Also not as soft as the last version. So my prediction here is this is gonna be better for fast running, better for long runs with race pace, but not that super soft squish that we liked in the Rebel V3 and in the SC Trainer V3, and they did the same thing with the Rebel V4. So the new foam here, it's more stable, which I think the stability here is gonna be a little bit better too. Initially out of the box here, and again, this was just a jog test, we'll do the full run in a sec, but actually I don't know when we're gonna do it, but at some point in this video, we're gonna do it. More stable, taller in the forefoot, less of a rocker, probably more versatile, and I think less of a divisive shoe. This is probably, again, like the Puma Deviate Nitro 3, I think more people are gonna like this shoe in the mainstream, but it is a departure so far from the V2. So with that, guys, I'm gonna go back inside the HQ, and then we're gonna hit a group run at some point. So that's when I'll take this out for some miles. So I'll see you guys in a bit. I guess, should I put on the Ghost Max again, or should I pull up in the SC Trainer V3? Why don't we pull up in the SC Trainer V3? Yeah, so I'm relacing this. And man, it is very comfortable. This is gonna be a nice one to have on foot here, just for the rest of the day. And I can do a little comparison later with how it does against the Ghost Max. And I know some people, I was at my local running shop this week, Run for Your Life in Charlotte, and they told me some people will go in and buy the Skyward X because they think it looks cool, and they say they love it for walking. So people do use plated shoes for walking. Let's go back inside and I'll see. Oh man, oh man. This tall, high squish feeling, not as squishy as the last one, but this tall stack, super comfortable. Super comfortable.
That one is just like approachable.
Yeah.
But you can still get in a good workout if you want to. And then there's Bishop Peak, which is, you can see it from up there. And that one's going to be a little bit bigger. And then at the top, there's a bunch of really cool like granite boulders and stuff. There's a lot of mountain biking in this area and a lot of running.
There's a big rock climbing scene, you said, with the bouldering?
There's a pretty big rock climbing scene, yeah. Liz, who you guys have met already too, she's a big rock climber. She likes bouldering a lot.
I'm fine with going up. It's just the coming down.
Yeah. Down here. It's called Benny's Pizza.
Is it Neil?
And good cocktails and stuff. All right.
All right, guys, so I just checked into the hotel. It is 4:22 West Coast time. I'm still on East Coast time, so that's 7:22. It'll be about bedtime, and man, we got 2 beds here, so kind of wish the family could have come. This is going to be a long trip. Shout out to Charles for holding it down at the shoe market with the junior joggers over there. But all right, we have, and you guys can guess what's in that box, but we have the SC Trainer V3 here. I wanted to do, while we're in the hotel room here, a quick little comparison of this guy against the plated trainers that I did bring, because we weren't able to do all the shoe market shenanigans up at the Running Warehouse HQ, so we could do a little bit of shenanigans right now. Boom. By the way, look at that. Bang, we're in business, baby. All right, so we have the Hyperion Max, and this is the supple certified sock packing method. You gotta stuff them inside your socks. So Hyperion Max and the Deviate Nitro 3, these are the 2 that I brought, 2 plated trainers I brought with me because I'm testing them now and I wanted to put some more miles on them. So these are really gonna be the 3 top of the pile right now for plated training shoes. So of these 3 so far, Hyperion Max 2 has been the firmest, also the fastest feeling. This rocker up here is super aggressive, and if you do not like soft squishy shoes, maybe you're a bigger runner, Hyperion Max is one of the best shoes, at least since the Boston 12, to come out for me for fast marathon training combined with longer miles. This has the plastic plate in here, and then Deviate Nitro 3, this uses 2 different types of foam. So you got the bottom foam here for stability, the top foam for a little bit more of that race day pop, and then you have the full carbon plate. So the SC Trainer V3 is a little bit different from both of these because it doesn't have the true race foam. So it's still called fuel cell, but as I mentioned earlier, this is a different type of formulation. So the Puma, you have the race foam on the top. The Hyperion Max, it's all of the race foam. So with this guy, I'm gonna be curious, how does this thing perform for some speed? Is it gonna be as bouncy and fast as the Hyperion Max? Because with it getting potentially just a little bit firmer from the Jog Test, hopefully we get some of that pop and benefit. But carbon plate, plastic plate, dual foam in the Deviate Nitro 3, 1 type of foam in both the SC Trainer V3 and the Brooks Hyperion Max. And wow, we already got our shoe super dirty just from that little parking lot jog. But I'm gonna lace these things up again, and then it's 4:25. We have to be back in the lobby in 5 minutes. Then we're gonna go bang a run in the SC Trainer V3. What do you guys think? The main things that I want to check for on this run are going to be comfort, of course, because the SC Trainer V2 was one of the most comfortable, if not the most comfortable in the plated trainer category. And I still think there hasn't really been a shoe to dethrone that. Maybe the Mach X, which is not a new shoe, but that's one that's new to me because I just tested it yesterday. So of course, number 1 is comfort. Number 2 is bounce. And the Balos was one of the bounciest shoes that I've tried this year. So I want to see how this does we'll probably go about an hour this afternoon. So I want to see how this does over that period of time, if the foam is going to soften up a little bit. And I predict, like with the Rebel V4, and so stay tuned for more testing on this, of course, guys, but like with the Rebel V4, that thing took about, 30 miles to break in. And if this is the same exact foam formulation, I would expect the same, meaning if we do this run, a few other runs throughout the week, and then a long run, this will be fully broken in probably midway through the long run. So stay tuned for more on that, but I want to see, can we get, even just towards the end of the first run, a little bit of creasing on the foam, a little bit of softening up. Because I'm telling you, straight out of the box here, definitely not as soft as V2. But All right, we're already 1 minute late. We got the SC Trainer V2 on. I'll see you guys in a bit. This way, finishing race. By the way, I've been wearing the Features lightweight socks all day for travel, and they're perfect. I'll put my link to these below. Great travel socks. I'm just running through the hallway to try to find the right elevator. Here we go. Little hallway jog test.
Yeah, has actually some sort of support.
Yeah.
Then the 1080s.
The 1080s are squirrely.
They're
like,
so, yeah, and I like the...
I love the more V4 is awesome, but
yeah.
It's pretty
the wider base in the V5 and the Balos is nice. Yeah.
And then did they firm it up a little bit too for the
V5?
Yeah.
Not really, but it's just so wide and it wraps the foot so much.
Do you like that one at all? Or?
Yeah, I like it.
I just love the more cushion.
Drew and Robbie. Drew and Robbie, that's right. Robbie says cool.
We're good on time.
Yeah, we were waiting in the van, so I have to grab some water. I'm still dehydrated from the travel. A little quick La Quinta water. One sip, everybody knows the rules. Exquisite. Exquisite. Would you happen to have any water bottles? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. The traveling really just takes it out of you. Bang, Kobe.
Miles you have to go in to Manhattan and then take the train down.
That's the point.
Once I saw people with kids, I was like, all right, I'm going.
Yeah, once you see the neon outfits, you're like, all right, good. Just like, what do you guys want? They're just like, yeah, I'll eat anything, dude.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'll eat anything.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
and then someone picks something, and you're like, nah, not that.
Moment of truth. Is stretching necessary before running?
Yeah, like
Dynamic warm-up.
Dynamic warm-up is the PT certified.
I would do a dynamic warm-up.
Yeah, she is. I started walking with. They do some really fun concerts out there. Oh yeah, during the summer too.
I play a lot of tennis.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, actually, Massachusetts, that area is really well known for tennis because of the Manchester Athletic Club. They have like a high-end voluntary tennis academy there.
Oh, sweet.
So I played. That was my main sport until I was like 15, 16.
And then you switched to running?
To running, yeah.
Okay, cool. Did you run in college?
I did. I just ran. I tried to walk on at Cal Poly for a couple years and could just barely not make it.
Yeah.
And nowadays I could 100% never make it. Now they're when I was there you needed 14:30
for 5K.
For 5K.
Yeah.
Now if you're walking on, I mean they're looking for the freshmen under 4:10 at least. We've had a couple like 4:11, 4:12 guys get sent over to the club team. So yeah, it's just a whole nother level now.
Would you do your 2-hour-long run in? Did you use those?
No, I ran. What did I run in? More V4s.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the more V4.
That's like your mileage eater shoe?
I have a bunch left over. I got like 5 pairs of those.
Jeez.
So that's been my #1 shoe for a while.
Do you try the 5 yet?
It's a totally different shoe. It's like a better feeling Bondi now. I'm about done with my last pair, but huge fan of the old Skechers Max Roads.
Where have you been able to see the biggest progress in your adult training?
You running with us, Curly? Curly might be the better guy to answer this question.
Well, I'm interested for both the perspectives.
Yeah. So my biggest, I made some pretty big leaps in college from like 19 to 21.
Yeah.
Just by being consistent, adding mileage, doing good speed. But it was really just the consistency, not getting injured.
Yeah.
Then I made some dumb moves from 22 to 23, 24, trying to run with the Aggies, who are all like low 14-minute guys.
Yeah.
And I was hitting probably workouts for a 14:30 guy and saving nothing for race day.
Yeah.
So I was running great workouts and sucking races. Then from like 24, 25, 26, I was running with 15-minute guys, 15, 20 guys, and actually doing workouts at appropriate paces.
Yeah.
And that's where I saw the biggest, along with
Just
bumping up mileage. And I think at my peak I was doing like 90 and it was really fit. And then yeah, the last couple of years have just been pretty bad. But yeah.
So consistent
Hurley's
workouts.
been killing it for what, 20? No, you had that big break.
12 years now.
You had a big break, but then, because right from like 20 to once you graduated, you stopped.
I started running again when I was 29.
Yeah. But from like 21 to 29, like nothing, right?
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like riding a bike, huh?
Yeah.
Just got back on.
And then
He was good though in college.
6 years.
Did you run at UCSB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in 1445 there.
Yeah. So he already had that.
That base built
Yeah.
up. Yeah, I was asking him what was his biggest breakthrough as an adult runner.
Ooh.
And
The biggest one spot though was like at, I'd say like 24, I started doing 90-mile weeks, part on Ultra G, killing the speed workouts and just like so consistent all summer through fall.
yeah.
And I think I ran like 25 in the 8K. So that was
pace
probably
is
the 5-minute pace.
Okay.
It's 5 miles.
Yeah.
So that was probably my peak.
I did 6 years of 80 to 100 miles. And I went from 240 in the marathon to 217.
Woo! So I got 6 years to go.
Yeah.
And what? So that was from basically
But
my
he
age to when
he
you were
also
35.
had
Yeah.
The
quite a-
base from
You
before.
had quite a few years of that college run.
Yeah, like
which
you-
can really help.
You probably ran a 410 mile or something.
State Street mile, which was downhill, around 409.
Yeah.
But 354, 1500 in college.
Beast.
And then at 40, I did 1440, 5K.
Beast.
That
On the
was
track or was that on the road?
it. Road.
Nice.
Never ran fast ever again. Like since then.
Dude, you might have to hop on the track.
Lately I've been doing all my workouts on the road.
Oh, have you?
I've just like, instead of 2K on the track, which is 5 laps, I have this one loop at my house
Yeah.
around this park.
Yeah.
I would rather do one loop than freaking 5.
I can actually go straight. Change
I'm gonna
it
turn
up.
around for them.
Yeah, we'll turn around too. No, what we got?
I mean, that was that 5? Yeah.
We keep trying to regroup.
Yeah.
The squad every mile.
Oh, cool. Oh, there she is. Baby loves the stroller.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Whew, that's some good grade right here.
All right, guys.
Everyone's all into polar plunges or like
7.6 miles, 7:15 pace. SC Trainer V3.
I like bath water.
Give me a hot tub.
We're like a really hot day.
Right?
All right, guys, so we are back in the hotel. It is 9:01 p.m. West Coast time, which means we are late on the video tonight because that's midnight ET. We usually drop at 11:30, but I think it's going to be worth it because we got the SC Trainer V3. So we finished 7.6 miles. Let's just round it to 7.5 or 8. Let's say we got 8 miles. I could have got 8, but I need to use the bathroom. But I wanted to start this conversation here talking about the Balos. Now, a lot of the people that I was running with today we're actually running in the Balos. And so far, it seems like the shoe is getting some mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people hate it. If you like soft, you're gonna love this one. But reason why I wanted to talk about the Balos, and let me, boom, pop off the shoe here. But the introduction of the Balos into the New Balance lineup, I think is giving New Balance permission to take the SC Trainer V3 in a little bit of a different direction. So we've been having the conversation recently about all these updates, like with the Puma Deviate Nitro 3 and the Hyperion Max 2 and how they compare to the previous generation. Let me tell you right now, the SC Trainer V3 is basically nothing like the V1 or the V2. So the V1 of the shoe was very bottom heavy, very dense, almost like the Skyward X where you got a lot of bounce, but it felt a little bit heavy and very protective shoe. V2, they streamlined it a little bit more. They made it super soft. They lightened it up. They actually lowered the stack height in the V2. And it's one of the softest shoes, or it was one of the softest shoes on the market at the time. And I think they're taking some of that and injecting it here in the Balos. But Charlie and I did a little bit of a test in the office a few months ago, and I had her walk in a bunch of shoes that I thought were the softest, and she picked the SC Trainer V2 as the softest. So I can tell you right now, this is not a soft shoe. This is, and it's not a firm shoe, but they've changed the foam formulation here. Let's do a little bit of a push test. Can you see me pushing this in? It compresses a little bit, but the primary feeling of it is not that super soft and squishy ride anymore. That's what you're getting from the Balos, and that's why a lot of the people that I was running with today did not love this shoe. If they weren't fans of super soft, squishy shoes, they weren't loving the Balos. And with the SC Trainer V3 here, they're now shifting this into a little bit more of a speed training direction, a little bit more of almost a super blast direction. So V1 was that very bouncy, fun, explosive, a little bit of uncontrolled ride, experimental. V2, they went streamlined, stripped down, soft. It was all about the rocker. And now V3, high stack again. It feels very protective underfoot, but it has a little bit more of a speed training character to it. So you still have that full-length carbon fiber plate. It is very stiff, and I think a lot of people are going to love this shoe as a marathon shoe or a true marathon speed training shoe, similar to a Boston 12, similar to a Hyperion Max 2. Now, it still does have more comfort than either the Boston 12 or the Hyperion Max 2, but what they've done with the foam here is a little bit firmer than the V2. So that's what I want to get across. It is a big departure from the V2, and it is not a return to the V1. It is a completely different direction. So how did this feel out there on the run? So we did about 8 miles. I actually ran with Connor from Running Warehouse for most of that, and we did first few miles probably around an 8 to 7:30 pace, and then picked it up down to about 6:40, 6:50 for some of it. And as I was getting faster, the shoe actually started feeling better. So it is one of these shoes where you put more force, you put more power down into it, and it comes alive. Now, I do have a size 11 here, and what I've noticed is when I go up half a size, it takes a little bit more force to activate the foam just because there's more of it than I'm used to. So I would go true to size. It's not a sloppy fit. It's not a bad fit, but you will want to go true to your normal size to get the best ride experience. Now, in the size 11, it's comfortable for me, but with this more protective foam, I was finding that as I was putting some more power down into the shoe, and even just throughout the run, I was breaking in a little bit. So I was able to talk to one person. Let me brighten this up. Sorry, it's hard to get, I just have the hotel lamp here. I don't have a ring light or anything. It's hard to get the right lighting on the shoe. But I talked to one person who she said she had 15 miles in the shoe already. And she said even at the end of those 15 miles, she already felt like it was softening up. And with this being the same foam as that Rebel V4 or very similar, I was talking to Connor and he said he doesn't actually know either if it's the same foam, but it feels very similar to the Rebel V4, but with a carbon fiber plate. That Rebel V4 foam took about, 30 miles to soften up and break it in. I think I said that earlier. So I would expect the same exact thing from this shoe, that as we get closer to that 30 to 50 mile mark, it will soften up a lot. Now, the bounce was nice. You do still have a little bit of a rocker, not as aggressive of a rocker as in V2, but I don't think you need it. I don't think you need it here because the foam doesn't compress as much. You get a little bit more natural response and you get great protection here. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a better shoe for bigger runners who put down more power into the platform, and also for people who found the V2 just too squishy, too soft, not aggressive enough, not great for faster running. And I was one of those people. I loved the V2. I loved it for everyday miles. I loved it for relaxed paces. With this guy, it doesn't feel like I'm getting the most benefit out of it at relaxed paces, similar to the Asics Superblast. This shoe feels very similar to me as the Asics Superblast, except a little bit better. You guys know I didn't love the Superblast that much. This does feel a touch softer. It doesn't feel like I need to put as much power down into it, but it has that same character where there's a lot of foam underfoot. It's not the easiest to compress, and you do get the most benefit out of it through either pace or time on feet. So I know this is a highly anticipated shoe, and the question is going to be, is it a banger? Is it going to be a Supwell certified shoe? We definitely need more miles to find out. And if you remember, on the Rebel V4 first run review, I almost had the same exact analysis that I'm giving now, that it wasn't as soft as the V3. It wasn't as bouncy out of the box. It felt like they'd shifted it into a different direction where you're getting more protection, where you're getting more stack. The foam didn't feel as exciting, but with that shoe, it became one of my favorite shoes as I put more miles on it. So this is one where we're definitely going to do more testing. We're going to do the long run either this weekend or next weekend in this shoe, and I'm sure that this foam will come alive and give us more balance. But after this first run here, I can tell you it's not a disappointment. It just is a different direction. So if you like that high stack feeling of the V1, you will like this. If you like that smooth bounce, that smooth roll of the V2, you will like this. But if you're expecting a super soft, fun, relaxed ride, that's not what I'm getting so far in this. It might soften up a little bit, but like the Rebel V4, I don't anticipate this is going to become a super plodding along soft shoe like the V2 was. That's where the Balos is going to come into play. So far with these New Balance shoes, Balos is the fun, daily, a little bit faster than the 1080. The V3, SC Trainer V3 here, this is going to be the long run shoe, the fast marathon plated shoe. I would love to do my Pentagon workout in the shoe. So those 5 mile repeats with about 2 minutes in between. That would be a fun workout for this. So stay tuned. I do want to do some quick comparisons to Hyperion Max 2 and Deviate Nitro 2. So yeah, just because I have them here, how does the Deviate Nitro 3 compare with the SC Trainer V3? So both of these have actually gone up in stack from the previous generation, and I only have one run in each of them, but so far Deviate Nitro 3 felt a little bit more aggressive, a little bit bouncier out of the box. I think this might have a slightly faster feel, whereas this guy feels a lot taller. And I don't know the exact stack numbers, but look at this. It is a lot of foam underfoot, and it's not just the visual effect. So that might be the biggest change for me from the SC Trainer V2 to V3, just how much protection we're getting in the forefoot. Again, I think this is going to be one that a lot of bigger runners like. And if you're doing long runs, this could become the best long run training shoe of the year. It really does have that vibe to me. Now, how does it compare to the Hyperion Max 2? So this guy, a little faster, a little more aggressive, also very protective up in the forefoot. And you can see that's a theme here. These rockers, these high stacks with the plate. This has the plastic plate, and the foam is just naturally way firmer in this Brooks shoe, but this was a really fun shoe for faster running. So I think between these two, the Brooks would probably take it for fast miles, and then the SC Trainer V3 will probably take it for long runs and comfort. The Brooks was decently comfortable for what it is, but like the Boston 12, not a shoe that I want to use really for a ton of relaxed miles. So we need some more testing in both of these. I actually did do a double day in the Hyperion Max 2, and it was great for fast miles, but I could not run slow in this thing whatsoever. So this was more enjoyable for slow runs, but again, like the Superblast, it did have, and this is my one fear with the shoe, it did have a tiny bit of that feeling of fighting against the foam. So that's going to be my main thing with this shoe. How does the foam evolve? And this is going to be a shoe where it's key for it to break in to really get that character. Like the Rebel V4, it completely changed character after it was broken in and became a much more enjoyable ride. And out of the box, this was a great ride for faster miles, not as great for relaxed miles. So at $180, hopefully we get that versatility that a lot of people felt the V1 had, and a lot of people felt the V2 had, depending on your paces. I didn't love it for fast running again, but I think this does have the potential to be that do-it-all with a leaning towards marathon speed training and long runs. So there you go, guys. That is the first run review on the SC Trainer B3. We're gonna be in a SLO, that's what they call it, San Luis Obispo, for the week. So let me know if I should do any collabs. Let me know what questions you have that I should get answered while I'm here at the Running Warehouse HQ. And I also want to take a second to say thank you to everyone who's been subscribing, been watching. That's why I was able to come out here to Running Warehouse. And also thank you to everyone who's been buying stuff through my Running Warehouse link. So that's probably the main reason why they even invited me out here. So please continue to keep doing that, and I'll continue to keep pumping out these reviews for you guys. SC Trainer B3. I think a lot of you guys are gonna like this one. I do think a lot of you guys are gonna like this one, but man, it is a competitive market in 2024. Gosh. All right. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. One more thing I did want to say. So I had this on my foot from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., so 5 hours. Very comfortable shoe. And that was a reason people like V2, they used it for casual walking around. I think this is going to be another good one if you want a casual shoe with a carbon fiber plate for some reason, but very comfortable shoe. It still does retain that classic New Balance comfort, and the fit is good. I know I got a half size up, but the fit is good. I didn't really mention anything about the upper in the breakdown, but the fit is solid and very comfortable underfoot for walking and just having on foot. All right, see you guys tomorrow.